So please welcome to the stage, Nilay Kulkarni.
I want you, is the presentation? Yeah, okay. So I want to talk about ashioto. It means footstep in Japanese. We'll come to that later. Now, I was just Googling and I saw that the population of Spain is 46 million. Imagine 30 million people coming to a city built for 1.5 million people over a period of 45 days. What happens? Stampedes. You know, what are the things you would worry about the most? You would worry about healthcare, you would worry about sanitation, transportation. Most importantly, it's about, you know, the lives that can be lost. Because ultimately people do not remember how successful such a big event was. They will remember how many people died. This is exactly what kept happening at the Hindu festival Kumbh Mela for hundreds of years. People came for a holy dip and, you know, a divine experience, and they ended up losing their lives because of a stampede. Now, this problem is totally preventable. These lives should not have been lost. Look at the stats. 2,400 lives have been lost due to human stampedes from between 2001 and 2014 in India. 2,900 lives lost in Mecca alone. And we especially feel, you know, I'm from Nashik, India, and we especially feel this pain because my city hosts this Kumbh Mela once every 12 years. And it happened back in 2015, and 2003, 39 people lost their lives in a stampede. So we thought, what are we going to do about it? Now, this is a story of 30 million devotees, 1.6 or 1.5 million locals, and 45 days. Now, we wanted to solve the stampede problem, and we figured out we needed to know only three things to prevent stampedes: the number of people walking at a location and the rate at which they are doing, you know, number of people per minute flowing towards some gate. So we thought, what are the possible solutions we can build for this? Now, can we distribute? So we basically needed a system that counts the number of people in real time. That was all that was needed. So, you know, we thought, can we distribute tickets or tokens, RFID systems? Can we count people using that? Or can we use CCTV cameras doing image processing? Can we identify, not identify, but at least count people? Or can we use cell phone tower data to count the number of people using the mobile phones? Now, each of them had a lot of points that, you know, could not have been overcome, like tickets and tokens, not real time. Cameras would have been very expensive and not portable. Kumbh Mela, there are designated routes to enter and exit, and these routes can change. So the system needed to be portable. And cell phone tower data, not many people in Kumbh Mela carry cell phones. So you couldn't have possibly had an accurate data, and also it couldn't tell how many people were walking at a particular street. It was not granular. So the system we needed to be real time. There should be ease of data acquisition, which means we should be able to get the data very fast. It should be low cost because it has to be at a grand scale. So it needs to, we need to keep the costs down. And it needed to be sturdy and weatherproof because it happens in the rainy season in India. So we came up with this idea of a simple foot mat, a pressure-sensitive mat which counts the number of people walking over it. Now there is a device attached to it which sends the data to a server every 10 seconds. Now that gives us the ability to count people. We know the location where we installed it, and we can relate it with time to get the flow of people. Problem solved. And it was a really low-cost solution because we had used existing technologies and assembled it in a way that allowed us to make this very, very scalable. This mat can be put together, multiple mats can be put together to make it as big as the road size. Now this is an actual photo of our device at the Kumbh Mela. We counted 500,000 people in 18 hours of our operation during Kumbh Mela, and maybe saved a few lives. So the black thing you see right there is the mat. It was almost invisible to people. When they walked over it, they got counted. Simple. Now, a lot of awards or a lot of press coverage was received in India for this, and this was the first time a real-time crowd counting solution was deployed at such a massive scale, ever. Now we could have, thank you. Now we could have had, taken those awards, taken the press coverage, and had our good careers in life. Maybe I was in 10th grade when this happened, so I would have had a good thing for a college application, maybe. But I wanted to grow this impact way farther than Kumbh Mela. It happens once every 12 years. I don't want that. I want daily impact on people. So at this point, I would like to introduce you to our team, which is a very passionate group of young people working towards sustainable impact and sustainable business out of this impact. I am Nilay Kulkarni. I'm the CTO and founder. Dishant Khanna and Narhari Chavan, they are really, really enthusiastic people working with us, and I'm very happy to have them with me. I really wanted to mention this on a stage because it matters a lot to the people to get, it really matters a lot for me to say that I'm proud to work with this enthusiastic group. And we are really taking this forward. Now, we wanted to think about impact that can be achieved. Big gatherings. Big gatherings don't happen every day. Mecca, the Hajj pilgrimage doesn't happen every day. What can we do? There are a lot of temples in India, long queues. There are about, a big temple can receive up to 200,000 or even 300,000 people in a single day. We could come up with a few applications there, and it did not become about preventing stampedes. We said during Kumbh Mela, we improved the way crowd routing was handled. Can we improve more decisions? It was a decision, so can we impact more decisions with this? Now, we came up with impact points that can be achieved in temples, in retail spaces. The footfall can be put together and a heat map can be created for the in-store analytics, which again improves business decisions. The same can be done with events like maybe a bit bigger than Unleash. We can have like up to 10,000 people, 20,000 people coming down to music festivals. So a lot of decisions can be based again on our data. Now, the impact that we have achieved beyond Kumbh Mela is what I want to talk about. So we had this community-based rally. It was kind of a peaceful protest by people, but it was highly charged. So there was a chance of stampede there, and the police really, really needed to know how many people are moving, where, how fast. We gave the police a 30-minute head start, way more than what we did at Kumbh Mela. We gave them a 30-minute head start about the approaching crowd, which allowed them to take decisions related to changing the barricading or shifting the routes to somewhere else. This is really interesting. We did not think that if we can benefit the events, the events also pay entertainment tax to the government. So so we put our system, we put our Kyoto at one of the largest music festivals in India, for the government, and we accurately counted how many attendees were there. Now, there was a lot of underreporting that happened before in previous years. So the result of accurate counting was 300% more tax collection. And now we are working to have it as a mandatory system statewide. We are also working with three retail stores right now. Govind and Sons, and a few local retail stores in Nashik. We are going to establish our business cases there, and then we look forward to scale it up to cities like Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi, and so on. And we really think it can be a global solution, because I genuinely believe that the power of machine learning, data science, should not be limited to big corporations. Why? Why cannot small and medium enterprises also leverage this and get benefits out of this? We also have an approval from the chairman of one of the largest temples in India, the Shirdi Sai Baba temple, that receives about 60 to 100,000 people every day. So we have an approval from him, and we are awaiting permissions. We hope to go live soon. Now, this is what Ashioto actually means. If you say, I want to have Ashioto at my store, this is what it means. There's a sensor mat which you don't have to buy. It's a service, so you pay per sensor per month. It can be set up in 5 minutes, and it's almost invisible to public. So it's an end-to-end system, which means you don't have to worry about anything, which is come, install it, and you have a mobile app, and you have a web dashboard to look at. That is it. Now there's a set of basic analytics tools like the daily footfall to sales conversion ratio and things like that. And there's also value-added services, which we call the advanced analytics platform, which can be optional, and that increases our offerings for the web dashboard. The pricing of this mat per month is dependent on the size. We offer 3 standard sizes: 18 by 28 inches, 18 by 56, and 18 by 84. And that does not limit us, because the largest mat we have ever built is 15 meters wide. So it can get as big as you want, but these are the standard sizes. Now this is what a regular dashboard looks like. It gives you all the store analytics, like your daily footfall, your current footfall of the day per gate, and you can scroll throughout your day and see how your store was performing at different times of the day. And it analyzes the patterns that emerge out of data collection for months, and it can really get a lot of intelligence and insight to say this hour, say 4 to 5 is your most trending hour, and your dairy section is the most impacted part. Why don't you focus your sales on that part? Why don't you shift your stocking, why don't you shift your dairy section to maybe the front so that you hit more sales? Or, if your ground floor to, the total number of people entering the store versus the total number of people going on the first floor, if the ratio is less, why don't you, that means the high demand products are placed downstairs. Why don't you place them upstairs to increase the visibility of other products? These are the kind of decisions we are impacting right now. And we aim to increase our offerings in the future as well. Now, why are we doing this? As I said before, we genuinely believe that humans deserve a better decision-making process, and it should not be only limited to consumers, which is, we have a lot of AI applications popping up for the everyday user on your phone, and big corporations. We feel this should really hit the grassroots business market, and I think we are working on a bottom-up impact with machine learning. And what we are here to transform decision-making process from being intuition-based or traditional knowledge-based to a more data-driven system. Because what we observed was a lot of people said, I kind of know how are the patterns, and I don't need a system like this. But then when the data was received, there was a lot of points that they said humans can miss. So when you put machine learning into use, into uh, when you put machine learning to work for you, it certainly doesn't forgive any data point. So we are here to transform that knowledge or traditional knowledge-based system to a more data-driven approach for a better development, faster development. Now, I would really like to close with a few um, testimonials that we received from the ministers and the deputy collector of our city. And I'm open for questions. Thank you so much. Okay. Taking into account that people with different heights have different footstep distances, and that one person can step twice in the mat, how did you face these issues, and what interval of failure did you achieve? Right. Very good question. I usually get this. So we ran a lot of tests, and as I said, the standard size is 18 by 28 and 18 by 54. Why 18? It's because we figured out that the most optimal width or the most optimal breadth for this mat is 18 inches, because that has a 99% of a chance, 99% chance of a person stepping on it. And with double stepping of a person, we are able to isolate a person, not a footstep but a person. So even if a person steps twice, it's still a person to us. So we are able to figure out with our systems that if it's a person stepping twice or if there are two people stepping separately at once. So I agree that, I admit that there's not 100% accuracy to this, but we are able to achieve anywhere between 90 to 95% depending on the scenario. I hope that answers the question. What is your process to face the number of problems that arise when developing a project? I don't really get it. What is your process to face the number of problems that arise when oh, okay. So we encounter a lot of problems, including software failures or hardware failures. It's mostly, as a self-taught computer programmer myself, it's mostly about being patient and saying, okay, this part isn't working. We need to get it working, and then we put. I can't say we put all our energies into fixing problems, because there's developing going. So we do allocate a lot of time into fixing these things, getting it to the perfection. And most of the times we do ensure that no problem gets out to the public. It's mostly about being patient and persistent about getting to solve this problem. And it also brings kind of a happiness to a coder or a hardware developer when he or she solves a problem. So that is our there's no like big corporations, there's not a really very well defined standard operating procedure to this. With having such a big impact, did you ever feel overwhelmed? Who has been a major factor that has? Oh, that is a very nice question. Thank you so much. So yes, we did feel overwhelmed at some point of time that this is really getting out of hand. We didn't expect it to turn out so well. But a lot of mentorship that we have received has been very helpful. We have been supported by the MIT Media Lab, TCS Foundation. We are being incubated at TCS is Tata Consultancy Services, one of the biggest IT companies in India. So they have set up a permanent innovation center in Nashik. So we are being incubated there. The mentors there help us a lot. Or MIT Media Lab, and MIT also set up another initiative called Kumbhathon, which contained a lot of initiatives like us. And it brought out a lot of industry experts from Nashik to help us. So mentors really help us a lot with their experience, because they have been in the industry for a long time, so they know, they have seen the highs and the lows as well. So they really need the conversations with them helped me or our team a lot to stay focused, stay grounded, and keep focusing on our work mostly. what are the next steps for you? Are you developing new products? Well, currently we are looking at getting revenue and increasing our reach. Um, Developing new products. As I said, the vision for our company is improving decision-making processes for people. So in future, there are no new products planned as of now, but I don't really want us to be limited at the foot mat or foot counting system. We may as well add a temperature sensor or say a humidity sensor, whatever makes sense to improve someone's decision-making process. We want to save time, resources, someone's money. So whatever it takes to improve a decision being made is, it falls in our scope of interest. So, in future we are going to introduce a lot of new products, but there's nothing as of now. Thank you so much.